Hello, and thank you for joining me at Layers of Living Water today. I'm honored that you chose to stop and listen. If you enjoy the stories I share, please make sure that you share them with your friends. So today we're going to talk about an ice cream sundae, and hey, who doesn't love ice cream? And let's see what happens because there's some very valuable life lessons that we can learn in there. There was a young man who earned a weekly allowance for his chores that he had to do around the house. So he started saving up each and every week he received his allowance. He would put it in the jar. He was working hard. He said, one day I'm going to be able and go get myself an ice cream sundae. I really want to have an ice cream sundae. Now he wasn't sure exactly how much they cost, but he knew if he worked hard, that he'd save up the money and be able to go and get that ice cream sundae. The day came and he had saved up all his money. He thought he had enough, so he took the jar and he headed down to the local ice cream shop. He walked in, he looked for a nice booth and sat down. When he sat down, the waitress saw him come in and she said, well, that's only a 10 or 11-year-old boy. She said, maybe his parents are parking the car. Maybe his family will be in. So she went on about her business for a moment. She kept an eye on the boy, and there he sat. She said, well, I guess he's going to be by himself. So she walked over to him and said, young man, how are you today? He said, oh, ma'am, I'm very fine. She said, what can I do for you today? He said, you could tell me how much an ice cream sundae is. And she said, well, that's 50 cents. Now I know, don't laugh, I told you this story came from a few years ago. Ice cream sundaes are much more than that now. But the young man saved up, he reached in his pocket, he started counting up his coins and he hesitated for a minute. The waitress wasn't sure if he had enough or what was going on. The boy hesitated for a moment. He said, ma'am, he said, how much is just a bowl of ice cream? And she said, well, that's 35 cents. Once again, he dug in his pocket. He rumbled through the coins to see how much he had. He sat up in the chair and he said, I'll have a bowl of ice cream, please. The waitress said, okay. So she went and got him the bowl of ice cream, brought it back to the table. She put the bill on the table and went about her business. She had other customers that she was dealing with. She was taking care of them. She knew there was not going to be any reason to go back. So in a few moments, she noticed that the boy had picked up the bill and left. He went up to the counter and he paid the 35 cents for the bowl of ice cream. He left, never said a word. The waitress was very busy and went on about the things that she had to do. And in a few minutes, she said, oh, I better go clean up that table. She didn't expect that there would be any kind of tip. I mean, after all he got was a bowl of ice cream, and it was 35 cents. When she got to the table, she looked down. Very neatly arranged was the coins, adding up to 15 cents. The waitress thought for a moment. She said, oh, I should have been much nicer to that young man. He really did want that ice cream sundae. That's what he wanted, but he knew that he wanted to leave me a tip, and I really didn't do anything but bring him the ice cream. So you see, my friend, the great life lesson in here that we must look at. Depending on which side of the coin, if you will, you want to look at it. The waitress really wasn't that concerned about the young man because he got a 35 cents bowl of ice cream. She didn't expect that there would be any tip. She just expected that when the time came, she'd go clean up and be done with that order. But how her heart felt so of joy because the young man left her 15 cents. He denied himself the ice cream sundae so that he could leave the waitress a tip. Now, if you figure that out, that's well over 40% in tip. So it was a very good tip that he left for the waitress. You see, my friend, the world puts a lot of pressure on us every day. Don't worry about anybody but yourself. Go for what you want for yourself. Don't be concerned about others. Find your happiness. Do what is right for you. But that young man had learned a very valuable life lesson. He knew it was important to be kind to others, to show kindness to others, because he knew it would touch people's hearts. And you, my friend, will be the same way today. If you get caught up in doing just for yourself, if you don't worry about your fellow man, if you just concentrate on what's going to make me feel better, what's going to bring joy to myself, and don't worry about anybody else, you will miss so much goodness and blessing. Because when you share an act of kindness, you don't know how it's going to touch somebody's heart. You don't know how bad their day may be going. And a simple act of kindness could totally change their whole day. And hey, let's face it, you might be like the waitress today. You might deal with people, you might sum them up by how they look, how they dress. You might say, oh, that person can't really do anything for me, so I'm really not going to worry about them. I'll do what I have to do to get by. And oh, how the waitress learned a valuable lesson. Because it didn't matter that it was just a young lad. It didn't matter that he was just getting a bowl of ice cream. Because he cared enough about her that he left her a very nice tip. So my friend, as you go through the day, make sure that you think about others. Make sure you do not get caught up in what the world says, to go after everything for yourself, to not care about others, to not worry about others. Share an act of kindness today. Do something that somebody would not expect. Because when you do, you will feel so good in your heart. You will feel so happy that you've helped another person. Many times you'll actually see them because they'll be so excited that you did something nice for them. And they'll express their thanks and their happiness. But even if you don't, you will have the joy inside of knowing that you did what was right, of knowing that you did something that would touch a fellow human being. So my friend, let's all take that example today. Do what you need to do to make others happy. Share kindness with them. When you'll do, you'll find it will come back to you, pressed down, shaken together, and return manyfold. Thank you for watching Layers of Living Water today. If you enjoy the weekly stories, make sure you share it with somebody and come back each and every week as we learn another life lesson about how we can do better, how we can live better and find more joy and happiness on the earth on which we live.